Good morning and welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Director of Social Media and Sponsorships for HAR, and I'm pleased to be joined this morning by my colleague, HAR's Technology Marketing Manager, Sally Snook. Welcome back to the program, Sally.
Good morning, Christina. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, last time you were on this program, I said we need to get you on here more regularly, and here we are. We've got a lot to talk about today. Before we get into everything, though, I do want to mention that this week's Member Focus Monday is sponsored by Oakberry Trails, a new master plan community in Waller, Texas. Oakberry Trails is designed to offer residents a tranquil escape with an emphasis on outdoor-centric living. Upon completion, the community will feature approximately 800 single-family homes designed in partnership with Houston's leading builders. You can learn more about this master plan community at oakberrytrails.com. Well, Sally, again, I'm so glad you're here with us today. As we know, June is National Homeownership Month. And HAR has some amazing tools built into the website and the members only portal that are really designed to help people with, buying a home, right? So a lot of these tools are available to consumers, some are available to our members, and you're here to tell us about all of it, right?
Yep, I hope I can cover the majority of them. There's so many.
There are so many, and of course we'll tell people about classes, I'm sure, at the end that they can take to learn more, but we've got some good ones. Before we get into everything though, Sally, for anyone who has not heard from you yet, tell us about your role at HAR and how you help realtors better serve their clients.
Okay, great. So I'm HAR's Technology Marketing Manager, and so I work very closely with our technology team to bring our members and consumers new tools and resources specifically for members to help them grow their business and serve their clients more efficiently. So kind of key term there, that efficiently. So when we do have new tools and features and resources, I communicate internally to the association to let all of them know. So then like the QA team can help out anyone calling in, etc. But then really, most importantly, I get the word out to our membership. So I teach virtual and in-person classes. I do outreach events such as a technology summit. And then also, very importantly, is I create targeted marketing campaigns for these tools and resources. And, we have a big department. We all work together, and it is a team effort.
Absolutely. Well, I know they keep you very busy because there's always something new coming out that we want our members to know about. Sally, with June being National Homeownership Month, why is right now the perfect time to spotlight these tech tools for supporting buyers?
Well, historically, March through August, this is the time. This is the busiest time for real estate transactions. So members, those buyers are out there. And so we want to make sure that they're doing their research. They're looking at all of these resources on har.com and specifically certain listings. And like Tina said, they can be looking around for about 18 months before contacting an agent. So of course we want to kind of get them in there a little bit earlier, make that connection as soon as possible. But this is the time to really bridge the gap between those resources that we have on the website and on the listings, and then your expertise. Because we have tools, but really all of you are the experts to explain things a little bit more, take it one step further, etc.
Sounds great. Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about some of the consumer-facing tools because many members might not realize there's a ton of consumer-facing tools on hr.com. What are some of the most underused consumer-facing tools that really can empower buyers when they're guided by their realtor, as you stated?
So I would say the most underutilized might be like the mortgage calculator. We have a whole mortgage center where our consumers can look up information and put in some information, knowledge articles, videos, etc. And that is where I think there should be more promotion of that, utilizing that more and more. And then also we have some updated GeoMarket pages and neighborhood pages. And that's where, Claudia in Video Services, she spends a lot of time creating these videos. our technology team, our communications team, we work on getting all the information on those pages up to date, and really just a great resource for a buyer who is already in the Houston area, or maybe they're coming from out of state, out of country. So those are some resources that consumers can find in multiple places. But I would say those two are just a couple.
Absolutely. I mean, a mortgage calculator, it seems like, a no-brainer. That's something that we might be wanting to use if we're buying a home. Let's talk about a few others specifically that I know that I like a lot. Drive Time, Down Payment Resource, and Energy Ogre. Tell us how those tools help buyers make more informed decisions.
Okay, great. So drive time, this is going to be kind of a theme. It can be accessed different ways and for different reasons. So a consumer who's not looking at a specific property, maybe like a specific listing, but they're interested in an area, they can put in that like address or that location. Maybe it's University of Houston, or maybe it's a specific mall. And then they can calculate the drive time based on the specific time of the day, because of course we have lots of traffic in Houston. And then it'll pull up properties around within that criteria. So where they want to go and the time of the day. So that's one way that they can utilize it. In addition to that, on all of our listings, they can also calculate drive time. So they can see, okay, from where maybe I work, how long would it take to get there at a specific time? So that's really helpful, especially with someone coming from out of the Houston area. They just, I can get anywhere in Houston in 15, 20 minutes. Okay, not always, because we're growing and we're growing, which is
more like 1 to 3 business days, but
right. And then if it's raining, oh no, add to that. So that's one. DPR is a great resource for our first-time buyers, for any buyer. And really, it's a way within listings that consumers can see if there are DPR programs attached to the property, or they can go to those resources at the top of har.com. They can answer some questions. I think it's 7 questions, and then DPR programs can be suggested for them, and that can be based on occupation, military experience, income, etc. So those are, again, 2 ways to find it, and really very helpful. It kind of can boost the morale of a first-time home buyer, because they're like, you know what, no one in my family has ever bought a house. I don't really know what this process is. I can get some money potentially. And so it's a great resource. And hopefully our members are aware of it. Lenders obviously can also help with down payment resource programs, and all of you are the expert to help them research more DPR programs.
And I just want to mention, we'll be diving a little deeper into DPR later this month. So anybody that's interested in more, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, good. And then the last one you mentioned is Energy Ogre. And this is really cool. 2 ways to find it. So if someone is looking at a specific property, they can determine like what the historical monthly payment has been for that property. And then, does that fit into their budget? So that's something that's really helpful. They can also get out their current bill, look and see what they're currently paying kilowatt per hour, their bill, their address, their zip code, and then putting in that information. Energy Ogre will then give them like a report and suggestions on better rates and programs and plans. So again, har.com, we want consumers to come to our page because it's local and have all these resources. But of course, no matter what, they need to work with an experienced agent who can guide them, especially for the financial aspects of it, and work with a lender.
Yeah. For any, member that's listening to this, definitely jot some of these down because I mean, I could imagine you're in a situation where a consumer has gone to HAR's website, maybe they've found something like energy odor or drive time and they come to you with it. I would hope you'd know something about it, right? So this is really important to go and learn about these tools. Another thing I just wanted to mention really quick about drive time, Sally, sometimes members ask about, is it built into Matrix, which unfortunately it's not, but one thing that I've recommended is if they tell you they want a 30-minute or less commute and they have to be at the office by 8 every day, well, go on HAR.com, put that information into drive time, and it basically draws a little polygon that you can then go replicate into Matrix, and you kind of have an idea of where you can get them that desired commute. So just a little bonus there on that one.
Whoa, that's perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said at the beginning, all of our tools are consumer based, but they're there to empower our members too, because you are the expert. And if there is a consumer out there who's looking at like one of these mortgage calculators for the first time, they're like, whoa, this is way beyond what I even understand. HOA fees, property taxes, etc. Those are things that can be daunting to them. Maybe even stop the process. Like, forget it. I'm just gonna rent again, and continue renting and not buy. But the goal is for that. Ultimately that buying. So.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit more about the HR's mortgage calculator and financial tools. How can agents use these to support buyers, in particular first-time buyers?
Okay, great. So we have about 5 of them and maybe a few more coming. And they go anywhere from like buyer closing costs, rent versus buy, mortgage, lots of resources there. As a platinum subscriber, those calculators, when you are talking with your clients, all that information can be saved and then shared with them with all of your agent branding. So that's very helpful, because if you send the calculator to them and you're not actually talking at the same time, maybe giving them a little bit of time to review it, anywhere in that calculator, your contact information will be there. But I know our members don't send something like that and then not follow up. So make sure you do that. But these calculators are there for consumers. They're there for our members. And really, it just provides an estimate. Our buyers need to be working with the lender, but it provides an estimate. And it really does provide that opportunity for our members to show their expertise on the financial side, but then also like their geo-market expertise. Well, this property is in an HOA, and these are the typical fees. It's in a specific MUD, so here's something that you should be considering regarding MUD taxes, etc. So being that local expert really can calm consumers, educate them more, and then the more information you provide that's relevant to them will be building that relationship and building that loyalty and help them take the next step to purchasing.
Yeah, thank you so much. We had one question come in and a whole bunch of hi Sallys and good mornings coming in. We actually had one yay Sally, which I like that too. Alwyn, if you could just repeat this. Alwyn was asking, if I'm on HAR.com, where do I see Energy Ogre?
Okay. Hi, Alwyn. How are you? I believe that maybe we could put the link in there. But if you're on HAR.com, you probably don't notice at the very top, there is a toolbar looking like agents, resources, buy, sell, rent. And so up there under resources, there will be energy. So maybe someone can put that link in the chat. And that's where you'll find it. And then also, of course, it's on listings. Every listing has it.
Definitely. So if you have a listing on HAR.com, go check it out because you'll see that there. Let's move on to some other tools that are very popular amongst our membership, but maybe they're not utilizing them as well or as much as they could be. Let's talk about Cloud CMA and Market Insight. How can our members use these tools to elevate the buyer experience and maybe even set themselves apart from other agents?
Okay, great. So Cloud CMA, Market Insight, and if we have time, maybe landing pages I'd like to kind of put in there. Those are platinum tools. So the platinum subscription, just quickly get this out of the way, is $129 and that's billed annually. So in order for a MLS subscriber, a member who is not platinum, to buy a subscription to Cloud CMA, it's $49 a month. So approximately $600 per year to get Cloud CMA, and I'll tell you about the benefits in just a second. But the platinum subscription is only $129. So it really, a platinum subscription is helpful. And so we're going to talk about a few of the tools. Specifically, Cloud CMA, it is a game changer in terms of the presentation that you can offer to a client. It's very interactive, but it's not just for CMAs. It's CMAs, buyer tours, property reports, and flyers. Once you log into Cloud CMA from the members only area, then you go to the settings, connect to your HAR account, and there, so it connects to the MLS, so it has all real-time data for you. You can put in your agent branding in the presentation. The presentations are just really pretty. A lot of custom pages are available to the subscribers. So that's something that I think everyone should just check out. Of course, we on the HAR side, we do have flyers and property tours, all that. Cloud CMA just makes things look a little different and lots of customization there. Market Insight, I mean, it's pretty much the most popular tool everybody knows about it. It's like when I teach the platinum classes, I always ask, who's using Market Insight? And sometimes,
Everybody.
I'll get the most. And if not, I'll be like, okay, let's talk about it. So when a consumer is going to buy a property, they're more savvy, right, than probably when you bought your first home, Christina. There's so much data out there. There's so much information. Some consumers don't want anything to do with it. They want you to be their expert for everything. Call them, tell them, etc. But really, in this day and age, it's electronic. So the Market Insight report can be set up for on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. You don't want to inundate them, but you do want to keep them informed. So what it is, you pick a property. So say I want to live in Windrose subdivision, and I'll pick a property because you do have to have an address. I'll pick a property that's pretty similar to what I would want if I'm in the buying game right now. And then the agent can set up the Market Insight for them, plus or minus square footage, comparable properties, comparable attributes of the property. And then on a weekly basis or monthly basis, that report will be sent, of course, with all of your agent branding. And then with some clicks and, there are links in there, the potential buyer can see any market status changes, new properties sold, see a lot of that market data, which is real time. So then they can see, oh yeah, that property around the corner that from this house that I want, it did sell, and the agent can actually choose if they want a sold price or sold price range. So giving that information. I do recommend, though, after you send the first Market Insight, and of course, the default is for the member to receive a copy of the same email, the same report. I do recommend that you look into the analytics. Did they open it? And then follow up with them. Okay, this is your first Market Insight. Do you have any questions about it? Lots of data in here. So do we need to put it down? That's not just sending an email. That is making that connection and being there for them, because it's a lot. It's a lot of information, and depending on how savvy they are, that guidance would be helpful to them. Building loyalty, building that relationship.
Absolutely. I've had some people tell me that it's an excuse to reach out to their client or potential client. So yeah. So other tools that HAR members have access to, RPR, Remind, Showing Smart, how can these help agents guide buyers more efficiently?
Okay, so those two, well, all three of them, those are benefits for all subscribers. So we were just talking about Platinum. Now we're going back to a few of these tools that are available to all of our members. And so Remind and RPR, those are great databases. They're actually outside of Texas also, but they're great databases for our typically more of our selling agents to look at like sell scores and kind of get an idea of properties in a specific area. But even Tina mentioned this last week, if you're really truly working hard for one of your buyers, if there's a property listed in those either of those reports, then maybe go knock on the door, maybe give them a call, send a text to the owner and say, I have a buyer for your property. Are you interested in selling? So it's just a lot of good data, and we have so much data to offer our members. And then take it and then make it work for your buying clients. Showing Smart is it's fantastic. And for buyers specifically, the buyer's agent can send them a tour with links and all of that. And so when they do go on a day of touring properties, all of that will be there for them. They can click on it, look at the specific listings, and then get that map. So
Yeah.
that's something that's really helpful.
Love that. Love that. Just if there are any other questions, please type those in. We'll get to as many of those as we can. I wanted to mention just quickly, because you were talking about some of the Platinum tools. Juana made a comment that Platinum package is worth every penny. I love it. So we love to hear that. And definitely you're kind of mentioning some of the value in comparison to what the cost would be for things like Cloud CMA outside of that package. Safety. Now, safety is something that, of course, is our number one priority. We want all of our members and to always be safe and our clients to be safe. Talk about Forewarn and the Safe Showings app. How do these also benefit the buyer side of the transaction?
Okay, great. And I know safety is so important, and you are actually our liaison for our safety task force. So it's important. And so when a buyer's agent is meeting a client for the first time, so meeting them in person, it is really important for them to understand or gather information about that particular buyer. So Forewarn is a member benefit for all of our members. And it's a way to find out a little bit, financial, criminal, some background on these people who you are meeting in person. Also, before you even meet them in person, it's a great way to look at their financial background, see if there's any criminal background to determine if this is someone that you want to represent. So it's a good safety check. I would say of all the tools that we've launched in the last couple of years, again, this is for all members, that is the one that we get the most testimonials about, because it really is your safety is of utmost importance.
Absolutely.
They have webinars quite a bit. In June, they have some webinars that we've been promoting in the 5-Minute Realtor, that Tuesday email that you all receive. So take advantage of that, because you want to be able to utilize that Forewarn app. And then in terms of Safe Showings, that's another free app for our members. And that is a way when you go to a showing for you to set up an emergency contact, a timeline. And if after a certain amount of time you don't check in with that contact, then it's going to alert them. So it's just that second tool that you have access to make sure that when you are meeting clients in person or you're showing properties, you have some safety checks there.
Absolutely. Well, let's move into AI. And then, of course, we always get testimonials about Forewarn. We had another one not exactly a testimonial, but somebody's opinion, Mary, and I agree with her. She said, I love Forewarn, and then she made another comment that said lifesaver. So, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
literally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's great. Thank
Very
you.
good. So, and I have still so many more questions for you. So we might go a little over time today, but I hope everybody who's tuned in is enjoying this and take some notes. Let's talk about AI just a little bit because there's been a lot of buzz around that. Obviously, how can agents start using some of the AI enhanced tools to educate and support their buyers? Because it's really important, like you were saying earlier, to educate your clients.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there are lots of our AI suite of tools focuses definitely on the listing side, but
Mm-hmm.
also some brand new ones for the buyer side. So we have AI Studio. I'm actually teaching the AI class, Mastering HAR AI Tools, this afternoon. It's a free class,
Oh, there you
and then
go.
we'll also offer it, every month ongoing because we're just going to be adding tools to it. But we have what we call the AI Studio. And within AI Studio, we have AI Conversation. And basically, what it is, it's bringing open AI into the members only area. You can have a conversation with the tool to create knowledge articles. You can create newsletters, images, graphics. So it is a way for you to communicate or build relevant
Mm-hmm.
specific information for a first-time home buyer or your buyers, and then you can send it to them with all of your agent branding. So ask, if you want a knowledge article on the steps that a first-time home buyer needs to take prior to signing a contract, then put that into the AI conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't give you the answer, maybe you want to tweak it a little bit, have a conversation. Please remove step number 5. And then as soon as you like the content, you agree with it, then you can share it many, many different ways
Mm-hmm.
right there from the members only portal. So we've kind of brought open AI, the chat GPT. You don't need to have open windows for that. It's all right there in the members only portal. And then
Love
it
that.
also
Yeah.
assists with agent blogs. So we have our AI assistants inside of agent blogs.
Excellent. And Tina was talking about blogs on this program last week, too. If anyone missed it, towards the end, we can post a link to last week's episode. We had some great info shared last week as well. So some more tools that I want to talk about. How can our members use the branded agent tools like the branded sharing listings, the VOW, and their branded app, or even the client portal to stay top of mind with buyers? It's a lot of tools there, but they're all really helpful with staying top of mind.
Mm-hmm. So all of those are platinum tools.
Mm-hmm.
And really what they are is just setting up saved searches for your clients. And they are your clients. So you can send them that premium content, which is what they want, especially out of town or out of state buyers, first time home. They don't understand why HAR.com does not put sold prices on the website. Well, being a non-disclosure state, so again, that's another reason why they should connect with one of you to be able to provide that information. So basically, you've had a conversation with them, you've connected with them, and then you can set up saved searches for those clients, and then a notification will be sent to them when there's a status change, a new listing with your branding. They can save searches within the client portal. That is part of the HAR CRM. The virtual office website, agent branded app, all of those ways that you share listings, and everything that the client sees will be branded to you.
Yeah,
So,
love that. Yeah.
mhm.
So you mentioned the CRM. So how does HAR CRM and the email marketing platform help realtors nurture relationships and stay connected?
Okay, so HAR CRM is new. It is making so many updates and changes. One I just kind of need to plug just quickly. As of about 2 weeks ago, all historic deals from 2003 on are loaded in the HAR CRM. So there's a class, and maybe someone can put the link in the chat for, we have 2 classes. It's a series for the HAR CRM. But the CRM is there to monitor, to track engagement and the value that you provide to your clients, and from 2003 on, historic data.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a first-time home buyer, you can set up some of these services like a market insight, track home value. If you're showing them properties, showing smart, all of that is inside and tracked the HAR CRM. You can also send reminders to them if there's an event or a task set up. If there's an important date, birthday, home anniversary, maybe a wedding anniversary, those important dates, you are sent, as a user of the CRM, you're sent a reminder the 25th of the month prior, and then on the day of, we'll say, a client birthday, and then you can send them, congratulations, or happy birthday. You can send that communication to them, and all of that is logged in the CRM. We are working on drip campaigns, so that will be another way to stay top of mind easily. Those automated practices to stay in touch with your clients.
Excellent. Go ahead.
And then you also mentioned the EMS. I know,
Yes.
Christina, I always talk a little bit longer.
Well, there's so much good stuff to share. I don't blame you.
That's why we have so many classes. In fact, our introduction to platinum tools, that class is 2 hours, and I've already asked Rita. We're in the process of getting approval from Trek to take it to 3 hours, because there's over 55 tools for our platinum subscribers, and I just can't say what the name is. I gotta explain it. So the email marketing system right now, it allows our platinum subscribers to send 500 emails per month, and we know that based on feedback, it's really not enough. So we're upping it to 2,300, and then we'll monitor that and consider other options. But that's a great way to send listing campaigns, message-based campaigns, and then we also have added the lead magnet forms. So if you want to schedule out a message to your clients or a group of clients, you can do that.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, I want to talk about just rentals for a second, because more and more clients are exploring rentals as well as purchases. I know it's National Home Ownership Month, but again, nurture those relationships with renters, and it can turn into a sale, right? Where do tools like Rent Spree fit in for buyer's agents?
Okay, great. So Rent Spree is available to all of our members, and we do have that integration with Matrix. It's an application process for a potential renter. The information that you all can get from those reports, that application, can really open up a conversation to determine if it's more advantageous for that potential renter to maybe buy a home. Or if it's not, if it's a conversation you're having and they're like, just not yet, that I want to continue renting, that's great. But you've had that kind of conversation, you've planted the seed, and then as you nurture that relationship, mention it again, 6 months, 3 months before their rental term lapses. So it's just, again, more information to help your clients.
Wonderful. Well, we have data sharing tools, and I see this topic come up sometimes in our social media, on our Facebook group and things like that. As agents serve clients across the region, can you briefly touch on just the importance of geographic competency when using data sharing tools?
Right. If you are building a relationship with a client and they are looking maybe outside of your area, and they ask you questions like HOAs, flood, taxes, areas of interest, things like that, and that's not something that you're familiar with, you're doing a disservice to them. So always, consider maybe a referral fee, refer them out if it's not something that you're familiar with. But as an HAR member, an MLS subscriber, soon, before the end of the year, our agents will have access to 85%, approximately 85% of the listings across Texas. So that's a lot of powerful information there. But just make sure that you are aware of those specific areas. Maybe partner with another real estate agent in that particular area, or become educated, right? I mean, learn about it. Maybe you can take a little road trip, find out more about it, do that research to be able to service your clients.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Well, this has really been great, Sally. I know I asked you so many questions about so many different tools, but there's, like you said, there's so many things that our members could take advantage of. Just a comment that came in from Lana. She said, thank you for bringing wisdom/tools to level up. So love that comment there. What final advice would you give to agents who want to make the most of some of the technology we mentioned today, and maybe things we didn't mention today, to empower buyers, especially again as we're in National Homeownership Month?
Mm-hmm. So I would say first and foremost, and Tina said this last week too, become educated. For any of the tools classes, we have 3 matrix classes, we have 4 specific platinum tools classes, we have a website class. We have designations to help servicing buyers. Get educated. Just try to learn more. And this is what I just said last week in my Platinum Tools class. If you took the listing Platinum Tools class last year at this time, then you need to take it again, because in June of last year, we launched all of our listing tools, AI tools. And so that listing class is very different. Something to expect, and that is changes, new tools, new resources. So, look at HAR.com. Look at it from the vantage point of a consumer. Log out. Maybe even log in as a consumer if you have a consumer account, and see what that experience is like. Because if you can guide them to a resource and then follow up with them, that's just adding value and building that relationship. So just be aware. I know it takes time. You all are in Matrix. You're looking at properties and you're searching and you're working with sellers also, but it's so many resources available to you. And if you have any ideas for new features and resources, support@har.com, and we're always looking to improve.
I think that's such a great point, Sally, and thank you so much for making that and telling us about the classes. Just like you carve out time to take a class, maybe like Sally said, carve out some time to go explore HAR.com the way a consumer would, and so that you're empowered with those tools and you know what they're looking at as well. Well, Sally, again, thank you so much for everything you shared today. This has been wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Christina. Have a good week.
Absolutely. Well, just a reminder before we go, today's Member Focus Monday was brought to you by Oakberry Trails, a new master plan community in Waller, Texas, offering peaceful, outdoor-focused lifestyle. When complete, Oakberry Trails will include about 800 single-family homes built in collaboration with some of Houston's top builders. You can discover more about it at oakberrytrails.com. And next week, we're keeping the conversation going around National Home Ownership Month and how to better help buyers. We're going to dive in on how to become an expert on affordable housing programs to better serve those clients with Zelda Kane. So be sure to tune in next week and hear all about that from Zelda. And that is it for this Member Focus Monday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.